You studied late into the night. Focused. Serious. You read the same page over and over, convinced, this time I've got it. But the next day, it's gone. Not partially forgotten, almost completely blank. If you've experienced that, here's the truth. The problem isn't your intelligence, and it's not your discipline. It's your method. Your brain is not designed to remember everything. It's designed to filter, to remove what it thinks is unnecessary. If information isn't processed in the right way, your brain treats it like background noise, something it can safely discard. Studies show that within 24 hours, you can forget more than half of what you've just learned if you don't actively engage with it. So this isn't failure, it's biology. Now here's the interesting part. People with extraordinary memory, those who can memorize hundreds of numbers, names, or entire speeches, don't have special brains. They use a different system, one that aligns with how memory actually works. And that system has existed for centuries. It's called the memory palace. At first, it sounds complicated, but in reality, it's one of the simplest and most powerful techniques you can use, because it works with your brain, not against it. To understand why it works, you need to understand how your brain stores information. Your brain evolved over millions of years to remember things that matter for survival: places, faces, movement, emotion, and stories. Not abstract text, not disconnected numbers, not long definitions. That's why you can easily remember the layout of your home or recognize a face you saw once, but struggle to recall something you studied for hours. So when you try to memorize using only words and repetition, it's like pouring water into a basket. It doesn't stick. But when you convert information into images and place them in familiar spaces, everything changes. And that's exactly what the memory palace does. Instead of storing information randomly, you attach it to locations you already know, like your house. Think about it. You can visualize your home without effort. You know what's near the door, what's in the kitchen, what's in the bedroom. That spatial map already exists in your brain. Now, you use it. You place each piece of information in a specific location, but not in a normal way, in a vivid, exaggerated, and even ridiculous way. Because the brain remembers what stands out. For example, instead of memorizing a shopping list, imagine a giant steak sitting on your couch, a tomato dancing in your kitchen, a bottle of sauce reading a book in your bathroom. It's strange, but that's the point. The more unusual the image, the more attention your brain gives it, and attention is what drives memory. This method works because it combines three powerful elements: visual imagery, spatial memory, and emotional intensity. When these three come together, your brain treats the information as important and stores it more deeply. And this doesn't only apply to simple lists. You can use it for vocabulary, presentations, historical events, formulas, even long sequences of numbers. Let's say you want to remember the number 3.14159. Instead of repeating it, you turn each number into an image, then place those images along a path in your house. As you mentally walk through that path, the sequence becomes easy to recall. You're no longer memorizing, you're navigating. That's the key difference. Memory becomes a structured system, not a fragile effort. But here's something important. This method doesn't require creativity in the artistic sense. You don't need to be good at imagining. You just need to make things clear, visual, and specific. Even simple images work, as long as they are concrete and placed in a fixed location. Another important point: start small. You don't need to build a massive system immediately. Start with one list, a few key ideas, a short sequence. Practice placing them. Practice recalling them. As you get comfortable, you can expand. Over time, you'll build multiple palaces, different spaces for different types of information. And something interesting will happen. You'll begin to trust your memory again. Because instead of forcing information in, you're guiding it into a structure your brain understands naturally. At that point, learning stops feeling like a struggle. It becomes a process, a system, something you can rely on. But none of this matters if you don't try it. Understanding the method is not enough. You need to experience it. Because the moment you successfully recall something using this technique, everything changes. You realize your memory was never weak. You were just using it the wrong way. So here's what you can do right now. Create your first memory palace. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just choose a familiar place. Place a few images. Walk through it in your mind. That's it. And once you do, you'll start to see what your brain is actually capable of. Your memory is stronger than you think. You just need to use it the right way.